Professional VMware Application Modernization 2V0-71.21 exam is designed for IT professionals who want to specialize in application modernization and cloud-native architectures. The latest VMware certification 2V0-71.21 exam dumps are the best material for you to test all the related topics. 1. Why is the port 6443 required in the Bootstrap machine to deploy Tanzu Kubernetes Grid on vSphere environment? A. Kubernetes IP is exposed. B. Kubernetes API is exposed. C. Kubernetes TLS is exposed. D. Kubernetes VPN is exposed. 2. Which two options are supported use of content library in VMware vSphere with Tanzu? Choose 2. A. Subscribed content library requires internet connectivity. B. Local content library for air-gapped deployment. C. Subscribed content library for air-gapped deployment. D. Download manually via content library. E. Local content library requires internet connectivity. 3. Which component can intercept requests to the Kubernetes API? A. Network policy. B. RBAC authorization. C. Pod security policies. D. Admission controllers. 4. Which two inspections are supported in Tanzu Mission Control? Choose 2. A. Vulnerability inspection. B. SAST inspection. C. SIS benchmark inspection. D. Security inspection. E. Conformance inspection. 5. A customer needs to use Kubernetes and wants to use networking solution, Antria. Which product from Tanzu portfolio should the customer use? A. Tanzu Application Catalog. B. Tanzu Kubernetes Grid. C. Tanzu Mission Control. D. Tanzu Observability. 6. How is the Tanzu Kubernetes Grid (TKG) management cluster created? A. There is no need for a management cluster in Tanzu Kubernetes Grid. B. The administrator creates the management cluster in vCenter. C. Download the Kubernetes management agent. D. The TKG CLI creates a temporary bootstrap cluster. 7. Which log file can be used for troubleshooting when there is a problem with workload control plane (WCP) deployment? A. WCPSVC.log. B. Webso.log. C. VPXD.log. D. SPS.log. 8. Which access policy control is used in Tanzu Mission Control? A. vCenter Server Access Control. B. Attribute-based access control. C. Role-based access control. D. Active Directory access control. 9. An administrator was asked to run a conformance testing on all Kubernetes clusters managed by Tanzu Mission Control. What are the required steps? A. Conformance testing can be run on the cluster level. Repeat this task for all the clusters. B. Run the conformance testing by selecting a cluster group that all the clusters belong to. C. Run the conformance testing by selecting a workspace group that all the cluster namespaces belong to. D. Apply a label to all the clusters and select the label when running the conformance testing. 10. What is the advantage of connecting the Tanzu Kubernetes Grid (TKG) CLI to a vSphere with Tanzu Supervisor Cluster? A Tanzu Kubernetes clusters can be managed with vCenter Server Graphical User Interface Console. B. Kubernetes objects can be created via vCenter Server VAMI interface. C. Tanzu Kubernetes clusters can be managed with sghost client. D. Tanzu Kubernetes clusters can be deployed to vSphere with Tanzu and manage their lifecycle directly from the TKG CLI.